All right, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. This is a team that is building momentum and building it quickly, obviously coming off a dominant victory Sunday against the New England Patriots. But what we've seen from the Dolphins in terms of the energy behind this team, this isn't something that happened overnight. It's all predicated on a great strategic decision and I think overall good leadership by Mike McDaniel. Great news out of Miami. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, so this Dolphins team playing better and better football, both sides, offense, defense, dominating division victory. Dolphins are looking really, really good. They are a serious threat to make a run at it in the AFC, and obviously getting Tua back in the fold and playing well is a big part of that. But I think one of the things that got lost in the shuffle was a really key decision that Mike McDaniel made. Let's go into this article, this report, and it kind of talks about Mike McDaniel's strategy and why it will have a big impact on the Dolphins going forward. This is courtesy of NBC Sports. Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert scored 21 touchdowns last season, and he was the team's starter in the first week of this season, but his playing time has dropped sharply over the last few weeks. Mostert played 30 offensive snaps in week 8, but has played just 32 over the last 3 weeks, and this isn't even counting the Patriots game, as Devon Achane has taken on the clear lead role in the backfield. Mostert is not the only Dolphins veteran to see their role diminish. Linebacker David Long was released after starting 6 of the first 8 games of the season, for example, which led to a question for head coach Mike McDaniel on Wednesday, talking about last Wednesday, about whether he's trying to send a message to his players. He said, "No, I think it's been the same pattern each and every season in terms of one thing that I'm very upfront with players. The second they get in the building, the second that we start talking about projected lineups or positions within a position group, I think it's important that people understand you're entitled to nothing in this world," McDaniel said via transcript from the team. "Playing time is solved by the players on the field, and the best players have to play, and that's my job to follow through with that." It sounds simple, but reality, a lot of coaches don't follow through with this. They play favorites or they play the big names, play the veterans sometimes. Mike McDaniel, his leadership has gone under question sometime this season. This statement and the performance from the Dolphins team makes me think that this Miami squad is heading into a really strong direction, both this season and in the future as well. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Dolphins fans, in the comment section below, who has been your MVP of this Dolphins team over the past few weeks as they've been playing better and better football? Look, Waddle's been tremendous. Tua's been outstanding. Whoever it is, though, it doesn't have to be one of those guys. Can be, but we're not going to force you to pick them. Give us your MVP of the Dolphins during this really good run of football and put them in the comment section below. But, Miles, what are your thoughts on all this news coming out of Miami?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is something that a lot of coaches say that they do. This is something a lot of people in general say they do. They don't play favorites. Doesn't matter how long you've been on the team, the best players are going to play. I'm sure anyone playing football at any level has heard that at some point in time. The fact of the matter is, it's just not true. There are favorites. There are coaches' kids. There's whatever you want to call it. Somebody is getting in the game through some sort of favoritism and is not a meritocracy. But what Mike McDaniel is doing here, he is saying, hey, we have a meritocracy, and I'm going to prove it to you. You consistently see him taking veterans, taking guys like Raheem Mostert, who was like the backbone of the team just a year ago, taking him, basically dwindling him out of the roster. Let's take a look at today's, or this past week's game versus the Patriots. You look at Mostert, 2 carries for 5 yards in the game. Not necessarily, a stellar performance by him. He also got targeted in the passing game 1 time for -3 yards. So he's 2 yards total for the Dolphins in their game plan here. You look at who's in front of him. Devon Achane with 10 carries. Jalen Wright, the rookie, with 7 carries. 2 of the youngest running backs on the team are the guys who are getting the most carries. Why? Because they are playing the best. Achane, kind of so-so in the run game this week, but it doesn't matter because he was really great in the passing game, caught 2 touchdowns as well. So I love that Mike McDaniel, he's coming out and saying, hey, it's a meritocracy. The best players are playing, and you're going to spread that message around the NFL. Drafting guys, they're probably going to be like, okay, well, if I do really well in practice, maybe I get to play. It'll encourage younger players, 7th, 8th round draft or 7th round draft picks, free agents, to want to be like, hey, if I step my game up, show my best foot forward in practice, I might earn myself some playing time. That's going to motivate people. But also, you're going to get free agents who want to come to this team and be like, hey, it doesn't matter what position I play at. If I think that I'm the best player, I can go to this team and work my way up into the starting lineup. So I think this is a really good play by Mike McDaniel, and just building once again, showing he's the player's type of coach. He's going to do what the players want him to do, and it really starts to pay off. You see it with this big win over the Patriots.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing this from the Dolphins going forward, whether they make a run in it this season. And I got news for you guys. I think there's a real chance they can win a bunch of their games and make a lot of noise down the stretch here, maybe even make it to the wild card round, and maybe even actually win some playoff games. Because here's why. Mike McDaniel's leadership here of playing the best football players, living in the meritocracy, that is such a seismic shift that we see through most franchises. I know it sounds bizarre. Most people think of the NFL as the ultimate meritocratic system, but in reality, it's not. For example, there are first-round picks that are terrible that play for years. Why? Because they were first-round picks, because they were big names, because they signed a big contract, whatever it may be. The reality is the NFL is close to meritocracy, a pure one, but most of the time it actually isn't. The Dolphins under Mike McDaniel have proven this season that they are. And I think this move, this announcement, the lineup changes, everything that McDaniel has done, that's going to bring what I call ultimate buy-in from the players. Because look, I played college football. Anyone who's played football at any sort of serious level understands that the one thing every player wants is the best player to play, regardless of anything else. That way, if you're not the best player, if you're a backup, I was a backup my entire college career. There are a lot of times where I wasn't sure if I should be. There were some times where I definitely knew the guy in front of me was better. But I tell you what, if your coach only plays the better players, then you know what you have to do to get on the field. Play better. Right? You don't have to worry about politics. You don't have to worry about making the coach your friend or whatever may happen. You don't have to worry about a big signing or a trade or a recruit or whatever to come in and take your spot. Just play better football. And when you get team buy-in with that simple concept, great things tend to happen. That's actually one of the hidden recipes for the Patriots dynasty is they were so meritocratic. They would move off of everybody. Belichick wanted to move off of Tom Brady at one point when he thought Brady's performance was slipping a little bit. They played the best team, the best player, every single time. The Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, he's known as an offensive wizard. He's kind of a goofy, fun guy, does all the cool stuff on, when he's mic'd up on the sideline, all that kind of makes you laugh, kind of a quirky dude. But the reality is he is a 100% pure meritocratic leader, and this will bring ultimate buy-in. I'm going to say that again because I really think it's important for the Dolphins, whatever happens this season, but the future as well. This is the foundation for making a serious run. I love to see it from Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. Great move by him.